Someone said to me, Yellow Blue H2, I like your vids. I'm buying an H2 within the next few weeks, next few months. However, I don't know where to begin. Should I be in the engine bay, cleaning the exterior of the vehicle, roof racks? Should I be inside? Where do I start, man? I really don't know where to begin. It's a great question, and I'm going to do my best to give you guys a high-level rundown of where to begin. With that being said, I'm going to first start off by discussing the 4 parts of your H2. We've got the exterior of the vehicle, roof racks, water leaks, trim, doors, helicopter pad, brush guard, front rear bumper. There's a lot going on here. With all that being said, it's very common to see that trim being faded in the front and the rear. If your H2 does have a rear tire on it, that is a 2-man job. Do not try to do it by yourself. You will get jacked up and potentially injured or damage your H2. You can see right here how this is pushed inwards. That's from me doing it myself. The tire just came down, smashed the vehicle. So learn from my mistake. It's a 2-man job when taking that off. So when it comes to the exterior of the vehicle, easily, 40 to 80 hours. The more I think about it, easily 50 to 80 hours. It's no joke. Cleaning the exterior of the vehicle, again, that includes even underneath these cowls, dirt buildup under there, taking off those bars, holding them vertically, running a pressure washer in them, even tracking the part down if you don't have them, and using a metal, like a metal picker-upper and pulling out the rust from inside. There's 2 holes in this piece. All right, when you're working on it, you'll see what I mean. So with that being said, it's no joke, guys. Do not underestimate cleaning and taking off this trim, spray painting it. These will be rusted. Potentially you could be replacing these bolts or screws for that matter. These screws, up here breaking on you, that makes it challenging. Another question that you should be discussing with yourself is, do you plan on sound deadening your vehicle? Because if you're taking everything off, now's a good time to sound deaden the tire wells. Check out my sound deadening series for more information. Underneath the vehicle, again, you got a lot going on here. You've got front diff, rear diff, cleaning the front skid plate, potentially installing a new exhaust system. The best exhaust on these vehicles is the stock exhaust. The second best exhaust is the Borla touring exhaust. You've got your U-joints. Pro tip, the bracket on the U-joints, it is separate for the the rear drive shaft and the front drive shaft. They have separate brackets for locking the U-joints back onto the vehicle. You've got your fuel pump, new fuel pump ring, fuel pump brackets that run across. There's 2 brackets that run across, potentially derusting and powder coating the frame, checking for frame damage. The worst potential frame damage is going to be in the rear of the vehicle, underneath the rear support on the driver's side of the vehicle. It'd be right on here. That would be the worst spot right here. Where's about right here, where my finger's pointing. Underneath there was about a 3x6, 3x5 metal that I actually just literally pulled off because it was completely rusted. You can see overall my powder coating job has come out extremely well, guys, and I'm really excited to get the vehicle on the road this winter. Again, potential paint and it may need to be fixed by a professional. This is just little things that I haven't got to yet. This is something for the exterior of the vehicle, but you can see this is cracked. It's common for this piece to crack in here. That piece can actually be really hard to track down. Underneath the vehicle, right here, coming down like this into the back of the fuel, fuel tank. There's a line that can rust out, may need to be replaced. In all truthfulness, guys, I need to replace mine. I just haven't got to it yet. Underneath the vehicle, again, O2 sensors. You got your O2 sensors up here, torquing down your CV axles. This is one of those things where if you ask some people, you get some different answers. You may not have an oil leak coming from the oil pan. However, I would recommend, you don't need to remove the front diff. There's people who would literally charge you $1,400. They remove the front diff, which is totally unnecessary. You can do it yourself. Again, they charge you like $1,400 to replace your oil pan gasket. You can drop the front diff. Yes, it is challenging. Pull off the oil pan and replace the gasket. There's a bracket on the front, a couple plastic tabs, and some more sensors that need to be pulled off. But again, that's something that, again, you want to do this right, guys. That's going to be part of the process underneath the vehicle. De-rusting, powder coating, U-joints, fuel pump, possibly a new exhaust system. When it comes to your transmission, I would, you're underneath the vehicle. Now is a good time to install a new transmission filter, transmission drain pan. The stock pan on these vehicles does not have a drain port. Put in a couple extra magnets. The magnets will say made in China when you get them. They're really beefy, guys. I mean, they're beefy magnets. Transmission filter. There's like a socket. Behind the socket, I've seen guys on YouTube, they're like, don't worry about taking out the socket. No need to do that. That's bad advice. What happens is behind the socket, it's about the size of your thumb, is that there'll be stuff that gets jammed up. Some clutch material and metal will get jammed behind the socket. So you need to take that socket out. Something that I've actually never seen recommended online is that making sure that you install a new transmission shift module on your vehicle. Now, when it comes to the transmission fluid, that's, some people say don't touch it, some people say change it. Two things are going to happen. Understand these stock transmissions, they have a flawed design. Either the new fluid is going to wash off the clutch material and the 3/4 input drum, and your transmission is going to fail, or your transmission is going to last much longer. With that being said, I would flush it and see what happens. That's what I'd recommend. And if you guys have been sticking with me, you know that what I do recommend is actually replacing the transmission altogether on these vehicles. This is an 05, with the 4L65E. I've talked about them in the past. So transfer case, that's some more fluids that would have to be changed. With that being said, underneath the vehicle, guys, the benefit of when you're underneath the vehicle and doing everything underneath the vehicle at one time, fuel pump, U-joints, possibly replacing or taking the exhaust off, is that you now have so much room to work underneath the vehicle. So if you do find yourself powder coating, let me tell you guys, it's going to be a lot easier to powder coat and de-rust your vehicle when everything's pulled out from underneath the vehicle. I ended up actually, I think, dropping the fuel tank like 2 or 3 times because I used a bad product for the first time I powder coated. So it was just really annoying, guys. If you are powder coating, use Eastwood. So again, I want you guys, my goal with these videos is for you guys to get things done right the first time, so you're not like me coming back a second, third, fourth time. And then lastly, guys, when it comes to, we've discussed the exterior of the vehicle, the engine underneath the vehicle. When it comes to the interior of the vehicle, again, this is one of those comments, guys, where if you want to do this correctly, you don't have to take the headliner off. I really didn't see that much dust, if anything at all, above the headliner. But what I did notice is that when I took my carpets out, guys, I am not kidding you. Like when I clean these carpets, there's two carpets. There's a rear carpet and then there's a front carpet. And again, I'm not sure if I discussed this in this video, but do you plan on sound deadening your vehicle? Again, that's something to keep in mind. When I pressure wash these carpets, guys, literally black and brown goo was coming off the carpet. Like if you took like 50 like things of Coca-Cola and just started spraying it, guys, that's what it was like. Just it looked like Coca-Cola was just coming out of the carpets. It was absolutely disgusting. So again, when it comes to like cleaning the actual H2, it's a project in itself, guys. And sound deadening it makes the project, again, even more challenging. So easily you could spend a couple hundred hours. I know I did, being inside the vehicle. So you might want to replace some of your door panels. It's something to consider, tracking down parts for these. I actually put some new lights in. So look at that goddamn spider. Ugh, disgusting. I'm actually missing it's a rubber seal. So you might be missing rubber seals. Gluing these down, guys, there's a lot goes into this thing, man, getting these things done correctly. It's disgusting. It's a project. It's no joke. So with that being said, we have discussed all 4 sections of the H2. If you are someone who's going to be doing a project vehicle, you already have your main vehicle, this is going to be a project vehicle, what I would recommend, do the exterior of the vehicle, clean it, go underneath the vehicle, do everything I just recommended underneath the vehicle, and then coming to the engine bay would be my next after that for you guys, and then wrapping up, coming and finishing up the interior. You guys might want to do some carbon fiber upgrades, something to think about. So this actually isn't carbon fiber right here. I spray painted this with a darker black. This is original though. This is original. It came out actually really, really nice, this combination. I didn't plan that. Definitely would look better with the carbon fiber piece, but I'm not really worried about it, guys. The carbon fiber, really, really, really nice upgrade and touch. Okay, now if you're someone who's going to be buying an H2 and you're going to be daily, I call it a daily project vehicle. What I mean by that is you're going to be driving the vehicle all the time. You're going to be working on it, driving it, working on it, driving it. For you guys, it's much more challenging because there really is much less room for screw up. With the extra car, you can run down to like Advanced Auto Parts. Like I actually was taking my parents' car. One day I went down to Advanced Auto Parts 5 times in one day for parts. Ordering wrong parts, ordering parts. Again, here, pro tip, when you guys get your parts in, check to see if they're all there. I remember I actually ordered a U-joint and it was missing. It was a spicy U-joint and it was missing the actual cap, and that held me up for another week. I should have opened up the packaging and checked to see if it was all there. So I was missing the cap on the U-joint. Another pro tip I want to pass along this video is when you guys are doing this, make sure to every bolt that comes off, put it in a bag. What'll happen is you're gonna lose bolts if you don't do it. I have lost bolts, like these brackets on front. I don't have them installed because I don't have the bolts. So when you're working on your H2, it's gonna take a couple extra minutes, but whenever you take something off, just mark it, you know, driver's side, passenger side, whatever. That's gonna save you a lot. You don't wanna lose bolts or nuts. And when you're working on your H2, try to have a section set up where you can set all your tools down. It's very easy to start placing tools on your H2 in here and here, dropping them in here. Then they fall down and they end up all the way down there. So definitely just stay organized, guys. So if you're someone who's doing a daily project H2, what I mean by that is, again, you're going to be driving the H2 and working on it. It's going to be much more challenging for you guys. I would recommend, number one, getting this external transmission cooler first. Getting the engine bay, get all this done, because you get this done, that's going to make your transmission run much easier. Again, go through my series, get those CV axles touched down. So for you guys, working on the engine bay is going to be number one. Number two would be working underneath the vehicle, and you got to piecemeal it, guys. You might not be able to do all the U-joints in one day. So do the rear set of U-joints, put them back on, you're done. Do the other U-joints, you're done. So you're not going to have the ability to really have everything off. So, you know, one day, have a buddy come over, do the fuel pump, get it back on, done. So you've got a car. So for you guys that are daily projecting the H2, it's definitely feasible, but you really have to be on top of your stuff. You know, go through my videos, go through other videos, and do your best to prepare yourself so that you don't find yourself in a position where you're like, oh, I need to go to XYZ, now I got to put all this back together. So engine 1, underneath 2, external 3, and then internal 4. And something else too, guys, you don't have to do it 100% like this. For example, for a while I was driving around without the roof racks and all the trim, so you could be working on the engine, getting this done. You could jump up, take some of this trim off. You might have wires coming out your H2. Who cares? Don't worry about it. You know, you might be jumping back and forth, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, but if you have any questions, any follow-up videos, ideas, let me know, because let me tell you guys, my goal is for each and every one of you to get your H2 running on, you know, maximum potential here. So the last thing that, you know, you guys are gonna have to do is, you know, something I want to mention is, you get the engine done, you get all the mechanical stuff done. That's when you want to come back and get the vehicle tuned by Black Bear Performance. That's going to add significant horsepower. You know, and you want to ask yourself too, guys, you know, do you plan on doing headers like I have? So you really just want to prepare yourself, and I recommend watching all my videos. I don't just say that. I don't care about the views. That's not what this is about. It's about putting you guys, I want to put you guys in the best position to succeed in this project, because there's going to be the X factor, the unknown, and I've been there, done that. So good luck with your H2s, and I can't wait to see you guys on the road.